Hello and welcome to the program. Rich and Laurie are originally from Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. They relocated to South Florida in 2010, and they have been active in the area, enjoying a climate that allows for more pleasurable year-round recreation and activities. Let's see and/or hear what Rich and Laurie in South Florida have to share with us about where to go and what to do.
Hi, and welcome to episode 4 of the Rich and Laurie in South Florida podcast and YouTube channel. I'm Rich by name only.
I must be Laurie.
That she is. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a destination that's the number 1 or number 2 place in the country that everybody wants to travel to. But before we tell you where...
It's Homestead?
No, we're in Homestead.
Oh. Miami?
No, it's considerably south of Miami, but you're getting warm.
I am warm.
Warm, get it? It's Florida. Anyway, before we start, I want to tell you about our location right now, our shooting location. It's about, I don't know, I didn't count them, but we're probably about 500 steps away from our house. And my friend Stan Waring in Canada introduced me to something this week that I'm going to share with everybody here before I tell you our exact location. There's a system called What 3 Words. It's a global positioning system. It was developed in England, and this person set 10 by 10 squares across the entire planet. In fact, there are 57 trillion of them, and each of the, actually they're 3 meter by 3 meter squares, or about 10 square feet. Each one has a name consisting of 3 words. And right now we're in a location called Fattening, Fattening, Paraphrase, Downloads. Remember those 3 words: fattening, paraphrase, and downloads. And I want you to go to this website address, what3words.com, and in the first page you're going to see exactly what I'm referring to, and you can enter those words: fattening, paraphrase, downloads, and it will pinpoint our location of where we are right now to within 3 square meters.
Should they put the number 3 or spell out 3?
It's What 3 Words with the number 3. What, number 3, words.com. You can see it down on the bottom of the screen here. That's the website address. Just enter that website address. You'll see exactly what we mean. Okay, with that, where's our journey going to take us today? What are we going to tell our viewers and listeners about?
I think we're going to start off from Homestead, traveling to Key Largo, and...
Oh, we just gave away the destination.
Oh, man.
That's all right. Well, we're going to be talking about Key Largo today. It's a place everybody wants to go to.
Yeah, and it's a place that I think people, when they've never been there, they're surprised that it's not what they expected at all.
They are. We were surprised, too. We expected it to be very commercial. In fact, I was thinking it was going to be like the Wisconsin Dells. But it's the complete opposite. It's kind of barren. It's not very built up. A lot of bars and a lot of dive shops. People come here from all over the world to dive, to scuba dive.
Great restaurants.
Great restaurants, great food. We're going to talk about some of the places we visited just this past week. In fact, in preparation of this episode.
Well, when you first leave Homestead, you're driving down what people call the 18-mile stretch. And it's the big blue wall. It used to be a 2-lane road, and I don't know exactly when it became 4-lane divided highway with the concrete, but there used to be probably a lot more accidents because people would speed, and even now people come into Miami and they rent a Lamborghini or something, and they use that 18-mile stretch to see how fast they can drive. It's crazy. Yeah,
it really is, and a lot of people were having head-on collisions because there was no blue road. I think in this video you'll see a blue divider between the now 4-lane highway, but before that, as Laurie mentioned, it was just a suicide trap.
Yeah, today we were going to our lunch meeting at Ocean Reef.
Yeah, before we get to the Ocean Reef luncheon, let me mention there's 2 ways to get to Key Largo. There's the 18-mile stretch that Laurie just mentioned, and there's also Card Sound Road. That's I don't want to say a shortcut, but it's faster. The speed limit is a little faster. There's certainly less traffic. Here's a look at the Card Sound Bridge. But it's another beautiful drive. But again, this one is only a 2-lane highway and a little more dangerous, but at least you have your choice of 2 different ways.
And on the way you have Buzzard's Roost.
Buzzard's Roost is a very popular place. We don't have pictures of it this time, but when we do our restaurant series, we're going to have all of the restaurants. Buzzard's Roost is kind of a cool place. In fact, I learned that Lee Harvey Oswald actually trained on the property across the street from Buzzard's Roost. That's another whole historical channel that we'll do.
I didn't know that. You know, what's really weird though is when you're driving on Cartsound Road, if you have a fear of bridges, you don't want to be the driver because this bridge goes like straight up and straight down, although the view is beautiful.
You know, we're not going to start this video all over again. I'm just going to say that we made a mistake. We're not talking about Buzzard's Roost. We're talking about Alabama Jacks.
Oh, yes, Alabama Jacks.
Buzzard's Roost is coming a little later in the program, but the place we were just mentioning is Alabama Jacks, and that's the place along Cartsound Road.
Yeah, thanks.
And that's the place where Lee Harvey Oswald did his training. Again, we'll have that in another episode, but it's kind of a cool place. It's an outdoor place, and everybody hangs their license plates in it. It's kind of cool.
I know, I love the one when we do the series on eating, all the restaurants, because I love all the seafoods.
Yeah.
So let's move into the Ocean Reef area now.
Okay, good. You probably heard of Ocean Reef Club. It's one of the most exclusive places on the planet. In fact, I read somewhere that the Fortune 50 executives in the country have a place there. Many of them do. You've heard of the Fortune 500 companies. Well, the Fortune 50 are the ones who occupy Ocean Reef. The homes are spectacular. It's an absolute private club, and Laurie and I are members of their Chamber of Commerce, and we have a monthly luncheon there, so we get to frequent Ocean Reef about once a month.
Yeah, you can't get in otherwise. You can't even really get past the gate, and if you ever try to, there's security everywhere. It is gorgeous though, and occasionally they'll have an event that's open to the public, probably not for another year or two with COVID. But we did take some videos and some pictures of our trip into Ocean Reef we can share with you.
Yeah, you'll be seeing them here. They've got a huge marina. In fact, if you wanted to take a look at it, I'm sure you could find it on Google Earth. Just look for Ocean Reef Club, and I'm sure it'll come up, and you can get a good bird's eye view of what it's like. It's just, it's breathtakingly gorgeous.
Yeah, on the way to Ocean Reef, if you're taking Cartsound Road, there is a park called Dagny Park, which we'll cover in a future podcast YouTube, and there's a crocodile preserve, but the last we checked, the crocodile preserve was not open to the public, but the space between that and US 1 is all Everglades and mangroves, and that's where a lot of the crocodiles live. How about the fishing village at Ocean Reef?
Yeah, okay, we'll do that too, but she mentioned crocodiles, and we usually talk about alligators. There's a difference, obviously. There aren't many crocodiles here. There are far more alligators, and they're worth seeing down there too. What's the place? Fisherman's Village?
Fishing Village.
Fishing Village. That's inside of Ocean Reef Club. A lot of exclusive shops, some restaurants. You'll notice everybody is driving golf carts down there. Very few cars for the residents. They all get around by golf carts. There's restaurants. There's some clothing stores. There's a great ice cream place called Reef Treats where we seem to not be able to get away from when we go down there.
Yeah, the meeting room that we were at and the food there was just incredible. It was very well done, and the pictures in the hallway were just beautiful.
Yeah, and they're practicing COVID. They're keeping their social distance and wearing masks until we get there and get seated at the table. But other than that, it was just such an enjoyable meeting, and as Laurie said, a great lunch prepared by the Ocean Reef chefs.
Yeah, so after we left Ocean Reef, we headed back to Key Largo, and we went to where our journey began.
Yeah, if you see this sign, it says Moon Bay Condominiums. Well, it was in that building where Laurie and I stayed. In fact, 10 years ago it is now. We stayed for 3 months and both worked remotely so we could scuba dive in Key Largo. And again, I think we told that story where we got tired of the restaurants and came up north to Homestead and ultimately ended up buying a home up here in Homestead. But this is the place where it all started.
Definitely. I remember I asked you, can you live here? And you said yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And also down here next to the condominiums is the dive shop, Amore. That's where we did most of our diving. Here's a picture of my logbook. I think I've got about 115 dives here at Amore. A beautiful dive location. If anybody's listening that is scuba divers, I'd strongly recommend this place. They have a great boat, great people, great lodging if you want to stay here. They've got a 2-tank dive special every day. It's really a great place.
Yeah, they have a beach area too.
They have and their own pool.
Yep, and you're not far from restaurants from there.
Yeah, you can even walk to some of the good restaurants. It's really a great place. That's Amore.
Yeah, one of the restaurants that's right near there is the Caribbean Club.
Yeah, the Caribbean Club is kind of cool. In fact, it's the place where the 1948 movie Key Largo was shot. A lot of the scenes. If you remember that movie, if you haven't seen it, it was with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. We'll show you a shot here from the air. This is taken with our drone. That shows the restaurant from the water side, and in fact all over these pier locations is where the movie was shot. So if you watch the movie Key Largo, you'll see the Caribbean Club, and all of this filming was done on the back side, on the water side. It's really awesome.
Yeah, and next to the Caribbean Club is one of our favorite places to go. It's Florida Bay Outfitters.
Florida Bay Outfitters. I thought when I first saw this place, this was the coolest store I've seen in my life. They have all kinds of outdoor equipment, including kayak rentals. Their kayaks are immaculate. Their inventory is incredible. If you look in the store here, they've got all kinds of clothing and all kinds of paraphernalia to outfit your, in fact, even camping. Florida Bay Outfitters, I didn't understand the word outfitters until we came down here, but they will suit you with everything you need to take a kayak trip, including the kayak.
And the guide.
And the guide. And this is the place I think Laurie mentioned in a previous episode, this unusual kayak. It's called a sail yak. It's a kayak like you would know a kayak, but it has 2 pontoons on the side of it and a 16-foot sail that I think has 91 square feet of space. And we have taken these sail yaks out on Florida Bay a number of times. Here's a little video of a shot that shows you kind of what the kayaks look like, but it's a great afternoon to spend on that sail yak for about 3 hours.
Yeah, you definitely want to get a tandem, and they're Hobie Adventures, I believe. And you want to get a tandem, and if you're smart, you'll take the front position, and the back position has to do all the work. So my job is basically to just shift from side to side on the trampolines or the little fabric areas to sit on and watch for dolphins.
Yeah, and just to kind of keep it in the water, because the wind, when the wind hits that sail, it does tip it quite a bit. But you get used to riding it. I mean, in the back, the person in the back has the rudder control and actually control of the main sail. And the person in the front also has a rudder, but seldom uses it. But again, it's so much fun. We've spent a whole afternoon on those things.
Yeah, I think it would take a lot to tip them, because we've probably been out in close to a 20-mile-an-hour wind for a short time.
Yeah, for sure. Probably 2 or 3 foot waves that were coming over the pontoons. It's called an Adventure Island. I think Laurie mentioned that, but you could Google that. Adventure Island. It's made by Hobie, and I'm sure they have some videos to show you what it's like, but it's just a ball.
Well, now we've sort of graduated from, we don't do scuba diving anymore, but now we do snorkeling. And one of our favorite places to snorkel is Sundivers.
Sundivers, it's right not too far from Florida Bay Outfitters. Well marked on the sign at the road. In fact, the road that goes through Key Largo is Overseas Highway. And this snorkel place is awesome. They have I think I remember a 43-foot boat, or maybe it's a 53-foot boat. And they take you out to the famous reefs, French Reef, Molasses Reef, and the snorkeling out there is breathtaking. It's in about 20 to 25 feet of water, turquoise blue water, and you can see all the different colored fish on the reef. It's really a great place.
Yeah, one thing to mention is when you come to the Keys, things are measured in mile markers. So Key West is mile marker 0, and then it goes up from there. So I believe Moon Bay is like mile marker 140. So if somebody says, you ask somebody where something is and they say it's at 125, you know it's mile marker 125. Something else I wanted to mention about snorkeling too. If you come down to visit and you have a diver and a snorkeler, you can go on the same boat generally, and the snorkeler can snorkel and the diver can dive. The snorkeler will just probably stay near and around the boat. But if you're strictly snorkeling, I would highly recommend you look for a snorkel-only boat, because they go to places that are specifically sheltered for snorkelers, and they're not trying to make divers happy with depth and big fish and sharks and all those things. So I would look, when you do that, I would certainly ask if the boat is a combination or just snorkels. Wouldn't you agree?
I totally agree. And I'm not here to make corrections, but Laurie mentioned mile marker 140. It's actually mile marker 104 for the people that live here. If you look for mile marker 140, you'll be up past Homestead. But as Laurie mentioned, it's in mile markers, and I know for sure that mile marker 95 is that big Hilton hotel with a beautiful beach. So if you're not into roughing it, there's also some luxurious places to stay here.
I knew there was a 4 in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's 104, 140. What's the difference? Unless you live here, then it's serious.
Well, one of the icons for Key Largo is Mr. C's ice cream. It's not Mr. Cheese ice cream. Mr. C is in cat, and I believe he has 2 locations, and the ice cream is all homemade by him and whoever he has helping him. It is really, really good.
This guy that owns it, Mr. C, I guess his name must start or end with a C, his first name or last name. But anyway, he makes all his own ice cream. It's from New York. So while he's serving you, you can get a story about anything related to New York, because while I don't think he misses it, he certainly knows a lot about it. He's been here for a long time. And his place is, well, you can see it here on the photograph. It's kind of cool.
It's really good ice cream.
Kind of cool, no pun intended. What?
One of the places that we eat often, and if we're not hungry, we stop and buy fish to bring home, is Key Largo Fisheries. And I think we're going to do a live broadcast from there sometime.
Yeah, I think so. That would be well worth it. I think that's my second favorite place here in the Key Largo area. The food is outstanding. The location is breathtaking. It's right on the water. And if you're lucky, while you're eating lunch outside or even dinner, you can see a fish boat pull up, and I think he has the first choice of all of the fish taken out of the ocean in that area, and his seafood is outstanding. You can go inside and watch them clean the fish. That's so entertaining. I don't think we have any videos of that. Maybe we do. If not, we'll get one. But as Laurie said, I think we should do a whole episode on that place. It's beautiful.
Yeah, all the seating there is outdoor, so there is no indoor seating, and when you arrive, there's an order window, and then they'll give you a buzzer so you come back and pick it up. I don't think we've ever had a bad meal there at all, and I believe it sometimes, and I don't know when, they have some entertainment, some music, maybe some reggae kind of music or something. We're usually there for lunch, so we're not usually there in the evening.
And don't get me wrong, I said it's beautiful. I don't mean it's luxurious by any means. If you have long pants on, you're overdressed. If you have socks on, you're overdressed.
Well, unless you're wearing them with your sandals.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, God, don't go there. Anyway.
How about the African Queen? We weren't able to see it on this trip, but we're pulling a picture from our files. It's docked right next to, I believe, the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find a picture of it. If not, we'll do it on the next video. But the African Queen is the actual African Queen boat that was used in the, again, Humphrey Bogart, but this time with Katharine Hepburn in the movie African Queen. Look at that boat. You can, I think the movie was made, I don't know, in the 40s, but it's a great movie. It's old. I think it's in black and white. I don't even think it's in color, but the actual boat that was used in that film is the one Laurie's referring to. It's docked here, and today you can spend, I don't know, X amount of dollars and actually take a ride on it. It's pretty amazing.
Our next stop is your crack house. Where do you think that might be?
Buzzard's Roost?
No.
No.
The Sandal Factory.
Oh, the Sandal Factory. God, I've got my closet's full of shoes and sandals from this place that I'll probably never wear, but any kind of shoes, any kind of sandals, and in fact now t-shirts, the place is just...
And it's not like, usually you go to a touristy town and you go to one of those Sandal Factory places and you have off-brands. These are all brand names. They have, I would guess, 50 different brand names of shoes and sandals.
And the good shoes. I mean, Teva, they have every Columbia product that was ever mentioned in there. All the topsiders, they're all there. It's just I guess you could call it my crack house. I can't go down there without stopping in that place anyway.
Yeah. Well, usually when we go down to Key Largo, we're going kayaking at Garden Cove. It's a place that we put in our kayaks, and there's parking along the road, so you can easily pull our kayak trailer, which we'll do a series on just kayaking sometime soon. And you can kayak out into the bay or into the ocean actually, and find some areas where you can actually tie up and swim. But that's a great place to just go in and get your feet wet.
Yeah, is that a pun? Yeah, it's a good one. Here's a video of that anyway. This is the launch area where Laurie mentioned, and if you look across the water, if you will, that's Rattlesnake Key on the back. Key is another word for island, so this is Rattlesnake Key, and we generally kayak around that key. And I remember Laurie mentioning in a previous episode, there's actually a beach, a sandy beach, on the back side, so we can stop the kayaks, get out, and swim on the beach for a while. It's totally desolate. Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. So after you've worked up an appetite kayaking, you can stop by the Key Largo chocolates place. And I was just in there for the first time recently, and I was just blown away by the quality and how nice their chocolates look and how good they taste.
A little on the expensive side, but totally worth it. Again, it's a couple, I don't know where they're from. I think they told me, I was in there last year, by the way. In fact, I brought you chocolates from there. That's where they came from. I think they're from New York again, but it's just a couple who retired and came down here and got into the chocolate business. And if you look at these pictures of their store, I mean, it stands out. You can't miss it when you're driving down Overseas Highway. And the dark chocolate products in there are to die for. I'm getting hungry just doing this.
I think it's Valentine's Day is coming up.
It is. Maybe we should go down there and you could get some chocolate for me.
Well, I think we touched on this a little bit, but one of our favorite places, we have lots of favorite places to eat, but one of them is also Buzzard's Roost.
Yeah, crack house. This would be my crack house. I think, huh?
Fish house.
Fish house. Oh, that's right. We're going to talk about the fish. I have a lot of crack houses down here. Buzzard's Roost is awesome. Here's some pictures of Buzzard's Roost. In fact, here's a video shot from the ocean looking back at Buzzard's Roost on the back end of the channel. You can see Buzzard's Roost at the end of the channel. Well, just imagine sitting there eating outside and looking up this channel out at the ocean. It's breathtaking. And again, the food is out of this world. I think this is my favorite place for a mahi Caesar salad, lightly blackened and with side garlic rolls. I mean, I'm getting hungry doing this. Can we?
Oh, they have the homemade chips.
Oh yes, they have homemade potato chips that are fried, deep fried, that are just spectacular. I mean, this is another great place. So
yeah, I get the fish fingers.
fish fingers or fish basket, that's also good too. You can eat inside or out. If you eat outside, you deal with the mosquitoes. But if you use the cologne I mentioned in the last episode, if you put off all over you, they don't bother you. And it's really tasty and it's fun to eat outside, especially at sundown. Gorgeous.
Definitely. One of the other long-standing places in Key Largo is called the Fish House, and it's mostly, I think they have some outdoor seating due to COVID, but they've primarily been indoor seating as far as I know. And it's a little bit more exclusive, I would say, wouldn't you think?
A little more exclusive, a little more expensive.
You might have to wear black socks instead of white socks.
Yeah, exactly, or at least socks.
Yeah, still don't dress up though.
No,
I mean,
but you can still go in there casually too, in shorts and a t-shirt and sandals. They have a great luncheon menu, but dinner, I think all in all, this is probably my favorite restaurant in Key Largo. We don't go there a lot. It's a little expensive. We go there every birthday because every birthday your meal is free, and they kind of recognize your birthday with this picture. You'll see it here with a candle inside of a fish, which is pretty cool in itself, but that's another great place to go, the Fish House.
Yeah, definitely. And then one of our other places that we go often is, and today we had to drop off our bikes, is the Key Largo bike shop.
Yeah, this is the place where we actually bought the bikes we told you about, the electric bikes. We just took them back there 2 days ago when we shot all of this footage, in fact. And we are having them put baskets on the back of the bike so we can carry things, not a basket, but a rack, so we can put things on it. Otherwise, these bikes weren't very conducive to traveling anywhere where you buy anything and you have to carry it back. So we had racks put on them. It's pretty cool.
One of the things I'd just like to make sure everybody understands when we talk about e-bikes, there's a lot of negative information about e-bikes around, and these are not throttled bikes. You can't just go whizzing past people. This is just pedal assist. So if you're pedaling against the wind or you're really tired, it helps you, but it's not something that's dangerous. We don't run over people. You wouldn't really even know that we had a pedal assist on our bike. So if you're going to buy an e-bike, I would do a lot of homework on throttles, and also throttled bikes are restricted in a lot of areas now. Yeah,
that's a problem in the Key Largo area because they do have a beautiful bike path, but if you have a throttle type bike that actually works like a motorcycle where you turn the throttle and it goes faster, they're restricted to these bike paths. So the bikes that Laurie's talking about are pedal assist, where you just have to be moving the pedals and the motor takes over. It doesn't overtake the pedaling, but it just assists you. That's why they're called pedal assist. You can pedal a little bit and the bike will just move along. It's great. You can ride a bike probably 3 times as far as you would normally ride one, but you still get the same exercise. I feel a workout after I ride mine.
My favorite place to get a key lime freeze, and if you look in some of the coupon books in Key Largo that you see in the hotels and stuff, there's usually a coupon there for a free one, is at Mrs. Mack's. And you like their breakfast.
Yeah, Mrs. Mack's has a great breakfast, and this is the place too. Every wall in the place is lined with license plates from all over the world. In fact, here's a picture of my actual motorcycle license plate that is up on the wall there. We put it there probably 8 years ago and it's still there. But they make lamps out of license plates, and again, the breakfasts are out of this world. They open at 7 o'clock in the morning. Again, very, very casual. I don't think we've ever been there for dinner. I don't think they're even open for dinner, are they? Maybe they are.
They have 2 locations.
Sure.
We like the older location.
Yeah.
Boy, can you think people can hear the NASCAR track? I think somebody's practicing at the track. I can hear them going around.
Now that you say that, I can hear it too. They're doing laps. They do a lot of things there besides racing. They do tire testing and they do motorcycle racing, and the track is it's probably 3 miles from here. We often use it as a bike ride location. In fact, it's the place where, if anybody saw Laurie's Facebook post about releasing a mouse that we caught in the backyard, we released it right over near the track.
It's probably going to be sitting in our track seats,
yeah,
waiting for us.
Yeah, or it's probably running on the way home now, coming back.
Yeah, what else we got here? I think that wraps it about up for today.
I don't know. Jesus, I think we covered a lot, didn't we? We'll probably do another episode on Key Largo, but those are some of the highlights. Again, we were down there last week. We had to take the bikes in to the shop, so we thought we'd shoot all of these places. I hope you liked the videos and some of the pictures. Before we wrap this up, we'd like you to know that there is an affordable sponsorship fee available. We'll mention and highlight your business in this podcast and YouTube. Contact us by phone at 630-642-6500 if you'd like to sponsor this video. That's 630-642-6500. Also, we started something new since we've gone through the learning curve and we put all the pieces together. If you'd like to learn how to produce a podcast or a video YouTube episode like this, we have an affordable class that shows you how to do that. Again, you can reach us at 630-642-6500. If you'd like to take that class, it can be done online. Take a couple hours. There's some free consulting that goes with it, so we can teach you how to actually do one of these. And I'm sure many of you out there have a subject that you could cover by video. It's not as hard as it looks, but there's some details and some shortcuts that we can teach you. Okay, well, that just about wraps it up. What do you think? We're going to put a cork in this one?
It's a wrap.
All right, well, until next time.
Thank you for watching and/or listening to Rich and Laurie in South Florida. We hope you have enjoyed the program and that you will come back for the next episode to learn more about where to go and what to do when your travels bring you to tropical South Florida. If you would like to sponsor this program and get special attention on your place of business, you can contact Rich and Laurie in South Florida at 630-642-6500. That's 630-642-6500.